Hey y'all, happy Thursday. I hope everyone's doing well. My name is Drew Dellinger. I'm a realtor with Garden City Realty here in the Grand Strand area of South Carolina. That's for those of you that do not know me. But as I know, most on here I'm sure do, as I'm posting this to my social media outlets. So I'm shooting a video today for one very specific reason, to talk about this rate climate going on, what's going on in the real estate industry with these interest rates, and just give you some specific tips and tricks on the buying side that you may not be aware of. As you look at these higher prices, these nasty rates, let's just be blunt about it, they stink, right? Just these nasty rates. And how do we navigate this market? What's the forward-looking expectation? So I'm going to cover all that. Before I do, I want to tell everybody a little bit about why you see this big Band-Aid on my ear. There may be some of you out there that don't know what's going on, and you say, what's going on with Drew's ear? He's constantly has these bandages on his ear, but obviously you could see it in the video, so I just want to touch on it. I'm sorry. Hopefully you look past this. Maybe I should turn this way, actually, but I had some skin cancer taken out of my ear. It's gonna be a long healing process. It has not been fun, and that's why you see these the bandage on my ear. So please, I'm sorry if it looks it's not a pretty sight to see, but I just wanted you to know what's going on. So let's jump in, guys. Again, I'm shooting this video to help buyers out there trying to figure out, should I buy now? Should I wait? It's only a question you can answer, but there might be some options that you have available to you that you weren't aware of, and had you been aware of them, you may have decided, right now is the time for me to buy. So that's what this video is all about. So guys, there are options out there to get your rate down as much as 3% the first year. Now, forward-looking projections, these rates stink right now, but the forward-looking projections, actually every economist that I have looked at, I study a lot of data, y'all know that, every economist that I have looked at is predicting that these rates are going to come down. And really, that's a lot of what's going on right now, because everybody knows the rates are going to come down. There's not really an appetite on the investor side of it. So there's a lot of different things going on. I don't want to overwhelm you, but ultimately, everyone's projecting that these rates are going to come down. They're predicting next year sometime, possibly. Maybe that's 5-6% is where they level out at. We don't know yet, but they're projecting they're going to come down. So you could be saying, well, that's great, I'll wait till then. But here's what I would ask you. If you could actually get your rate down by 3% on the first year, would you go ahead and buy now? So that's what I'm here to talk to you about. As we know, things have slowed up a little bit. Prices don't seem to be going anywhere. And actually the projections they're actually going to continue to go up into next year and keep going from there, really, because of such a limited inventory. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the projections are that prices are going to continue to go up, so waiting might not be the thing to do either. But you may be saying, what can I do now? Well, there are options right now, and such a good time to be a buyer, right? Because things are just it seems like buyers are just kind of waiting it out to see what happens. Well, as you don't have competition, you may find sellers that are willing to negotiate and work with you a little bit and do something instead of a price reduction to sell the house at a less expensive price, to do something called a rate buy down. In our industry, it's called a 3-2-1 buy down or a 2-1 buy down. That's two of the options out there. And what this means is, for let's say the price is $20,000, you can actually buy the rate down by 3% the first year. So we're talking about going from 8% to 5% first year. Then it's a 2% for the second year and 1% for the third year. Now after that, it would go back to the normal environment at that time it would go back to where you would qualify on originally. So you do have to qualify on the rate at this time, but this may be an option for you because, again, they're predicting that rates are going to drop. They're predicting that rates are actually going to come down here in the near future. So what does it matter anyways? You're probably going to refinance, right? So these are really, really good options to get it down, because you might be saying, man, I would buy that house if the interest rate was 6%. What about if you can get it for 5% first year? So something to consider, guys, as you might be able to negotiate these things on the front end. I've heard of a lot of sellers willing to look at these options rather than price reductions to consider these rate buy down programs. So I would love to talk more about that. And here is a very specific point I want to mention. You could say, well, Drew, if I'm going to refinance next year and it's going to cost $20,000, goodness, I don't want to leave that amount on the table if I'm going to actually refinance if they drop next year as they're projecting. Here's the good news. You're not going to lose that money, okay? If it's a $20,000 amount to do a rate buy down and there's money left over when you go to refinance, it comes back to you and goes towards the principal. So it's a win-win. It's a win for everyone. And I wanted to get on here and share this because a lot of people just don't know these options are out there. They're using the simple rate calculators on Zillow or on the bottom of these search sites that are telling you what you can afford. They're great, but they don't have these 3-2 buy down options. So this video is in an effort to get this out there, some tips and tricks to help you. If you're a buyer and you really would like to buy right now, and the only reason you are not is because of what's going on with the interest rates. If that is you, that's what this video is all about, guys. It's just an effort to help you. I'm not telling you this is what you should do. I'm just giving you some options that maybe you weren't aware of. They're really neat. They're a really neat program. I have a wonderful lending partner I can partner you with to walk through all the details of that that I may not. Hey, I stay in my lane as much as I possibly can. I guess I know enough just to be dangerous with it, but I'm going to get you to somebody that knows a lot more than I do about that. But I do have some simple, I have some tools myself for these buy down programs, for these calculators I can use just in a brief conversation and say, Drew, just kind of give me an idea of what that looks like. I can go over those options with you. Reach out. I'd love to talk to you. Again, I just want you to know these options are out there. And so you might be asking, okay, Drew, well, the rates are one thing I'm looking at, but you know what? Everybody's telling me the price of real estate is going to go down. All I would tell you, you know me well enough from my other videos. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's going to happen with this market. That would be foolish. I don't have a crystal ball. But here's what I will tell you. I study a lot of data and a lot of economics. And you might be saying, man, this looks a lot like 2007, 2008. I tell you right now, there's a major, major difference. The major, major difference is we do not have inventory, a simple supply and demand. There are not enough rooftops for this country. And every market's a little bit different, but overall there is not enough rooftops out there. And that is a huge, huge difference when it comes back, when you look back in the rearview mirror at some of the other, or maybe the real estate collapse in 2008. So for that reason, when you look at the sheer data, not the clickbait stuff that you're seeing out there flying through the news and the media outlets and the social media influencers, when you study the hard data, everything is pointing to these prices actually going up. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just not that person, but just simple economics of supply and demand. See, builders have been underbuilding since 2008 to keep up with population. And even right now, the latest data, they actually have slowed down a little bit. There's multiple reasons that has happened. I can't get into all that. But the thing is, that's not good. We need more rooftops. People are staying put because of the rates right now. People are staying put in their homes because they have a 4% interest rate. To sell, or 3%, 2%, wherever they're sitting to go buy a house at 8%. It's like, what in the world? Why would I do that, right? Like, they're comfortable where they are, so they're not doing that. But when these rates come down, okay, people are just waiting to jump back in the market. So there's so many things, and there's just so much demand out there and so little rooftops that they're saying it's going to be absorbed quickly. And I mean, these rates go down, we could see another pop in real estate pricing. And that's what a lot of people are out there saying, guys. A lot of folks that know a lot more than I do about studying economics. So it's things to consider. Don't just be very careful to judge it based off some influencer or something you heard on some media outlet, you got to be very hesitant about that, because you need to look at your specific situation. And if you're a buyer right now, there's options for you, okay? Now whether you're deciding to wait because you think the market's gonna crash, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit, but I want you to know about these options for you, these interest rate buy downs that could be the very thing you needed to hear to say, wow, yes, that's exactly what I was looking for, something to get these rates down, to get my payment down for the first few years till I could wait on this rate environment to change. And refinance. So again, this is an effort to help guys. These are wonderful tools. I love them. I stay educated. If y'all know me, this is my passion, to stay educated on this market. I'm a very analytical person. Maybe in a negative sense on one side of that, maybe too much so. I understand that, but I do like having all the information for my clients. So I know what's going on with these programs, and I'd love to talk to you about them. Maybe give you some options. Hey, reach out, guys. You know that I love to hear from you. Just love to chat about these things. Call me anytime. My number is 843-446-2893. Email drew@emaildrew.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, guys.